she was like, hey, this is not going well still. This is still really hard, but I know we can make this work. I'm ready to work on this. I'm confident that with the right support, we can make this work. What was the difference? Why? Why did she go from miserable and just heartbroken and hopeless to like, I'm at peace. I can do this. I believe in myself. I believe in us.
I'm Jaimie Zaki, IBCLC and Mama 5, and this is the Breastfeeding with Confidence podcast, where pregnant and new mothers learn how to prepare for and overcome breastfeeding challenges without being controlled by stress, fear, and anxiety. Each week, we'll answer your questions, share breastfeeding success stories, and inspire you to shut out the toxic whispers of the world and embrace your God-given intuition to make confident breastfeeding decisions. Let's dive in.
Good morning, Mama Bears. I am so tired of it being cold. I know a lot of you deal with cold a lot longer than we do here in Texas, but I'm not here for the cold. I hate the cold. It makes my body hurt. It makes me miserable. And it makes my house chaotic. But we're surviving, so we're going to get through it. We are going to talk today about creating peace in breastfeeding, because this is what I see week after week with the moms that I work with. And it is this sense of anxiety and stress. Y'all, anxiety and stress are going to undermine breastfeeding faster than anything else. Okay? You do not have to have a perfect breastfeeding journey for it to be positive. I will tell you that after breastfeeding 5 children and helping dozens upon dozens of women create positive breastfeeding stories, positive breastfeeding journeys, positive feelings around breastfeeding, I can promise you it does not have to be a perfect journey. So let's talk about that a little bit. I walked in to a mom's house last week, and the words that ran off of my tongue before I could even think about what I was saying was, oh my God, you look amazing. Because the week before, the woman who answered the door was not the same woman. It was not the same woman. The week before, the woman who answered the door was tired and afraid, and she was stressed, and she was suffering, and she was struggling. She was hopeless. She was at the end of her rope, and calling me and booking a consult was like, it was like her Hail Mary. It was her last chance. It was her being like, this is my last chance. I'm ready to give up. I have nothing left to give. What can you do to help me? That's who opened the door when I first met her. The woman who opened the door the next week, that woman was calm. She was rested. She was like, hey, this is not going well still. This is still really hard, but I know we can make this work. I'm ready to work on this. I'm confident that with the right support, we can make this work. What was the difference? Why? Why did she go from miserable and just heartbroken and hopeless to like, I'm at peace. I can do this. I believe in myself. I believe in us. What was the difference? Sleep. Sleep was the difference. I kid you not. Sleep was the difference. She was able to approach her breastfeeding challenges, which are still hard, which we're still working through. She was able to approach them with a completely different attitude because she was rested. Now, how did we get that rest, right? Like newborn moms, hello, I get it. How do you get that rest? In those first weeks when everything is so freaking hard and you feel so helpless, how do you get rest so that you can just approach it with peace and confidence? Well, I'm going to tell you what changed for her. What changed for her was not that her baby didn't wake up. What changed for her was not that they suddenly had no more challenges. What changed for her is she was no longer doom scrolling and spiraling with 9 million questions on Google at 2:00 in the morning. I'm serious. That is probably the biggest challenge I think new moms are facing. And I'm saying that as somebody who works with new moms, somebody who has 5 kids, somebody who is a year postpartum. The biggest challenge, breastfeeding challenge that new moms face is not low milk supply. It's not bad latches. Like those all are real things. But the biggest challenge is lack of sleep, and not because your baby isn't sleeping, but because it's your mind. Your mind is afraid. Your mind is spiraling out of control. You're anxious and you don't have someone to turn to. So you go to Google to get answers. And then you get like, oh God, what's that mean? And you start Googling something else and you go down this rabbit hole spiral of advice that doesn't even apply to you. It doesn't even apply to you. So you get anxious, you get scared, you feel even more helpless. Now, maybe you feel like you have information, but what do you do with that information? Okay, maybe my baby has a tongue tie. Maybe that's the problem. But what do you do with that? Now you're like, okay, well, do I need to get a release? How quickly can I get a release? How much does the release cost? This, that. And we're not even addressing like the real issues over here. That's why I created a class like Latching with Confidence. That's why I created the Confident Mama Bear Society, because I want to give you a space where you can ask questions about your problems and get answers that fit your problems, where you can find what the root cause of something is without assuming it has to be the worst thing, or where you can learn like, yeah, maybe it is something really big and serious that is not going to be fixed with a simple position change, but you know the right questions to ask. You know where to get the answers. You're not Googling on Facebook. Oh my gosh. You're not like scrolling on Facebook and asking the mommy groups. You're not Googling a million questions, trying to find this one size fits none advice. You're going to get answers to your questions. You're going to get the support that you need. You're going to get the answers that you need. You're going to know how to build that strong foundation, and you're going to know when something's not right. And instead of being controlled by fear and anxiety and hopelessness, you're going to be like, hey, this is not perfect. This is really frustrating, but that's okay because it's also solvable. It's also something we can work through. I'm not alone. I don't have to figure this out alone. So we've gone from anxiety-filled doom scrolling at 2 a.m. and not sleeping because we have our minds racing a mile a minute to having a plan that fits our needs and having options and support and knowledge and knowing that we can get answers, and that even if it's not perfect, we can create a positive story. We can change what we need to change to make it work for us. That's peace. That is peace. All right. You do not have to have perfect breastfeeding to have positive breastfeeding. You need to have peace. You have peace when you have information, when you're trusting your intuition, and you have support. That is when you have peace during your postpartum experience. That is when you have peace during breastfeeding. Peace, mama. Peace is what you deserve. Now, I have two options for you to start finding that peace with breastfeeding. All right. If you are not really sure what you need yet, your baby's not here yet, and you're like, I'm just going to start learning the very basics because I have no idea where to start. Secrets to a First Latch Without Pain is for you. It is a free class. It just gives you the quick overview of what you need to know and where you need to start. But if you're like, no, I am ready. I am ready to have a positive breastfeeding experience. I'm ready to know what I'm doing. I'm ready to understand. I'm ready to take action. I am ready to just feel hopeful again. You're going to want to go into Latching with Confidence, because Latching with Confidence is going to give you a strong foundation so that you can have a positive breastfeeding experience. It's not going to just give you this overview of like fluffy, this is why breastfeeding's great. This is why you need to breastfeed, and oh, breastfeeding is so beautiful. Like, yeah, breastfeeding is great and beautiful, but it's also fucking hard sometimes. I've been there, and there is nothing worse than being taught how great and wonderful breastfeeding is and nobody telling you how hard it can be. So that's why I created Latching with Confidence, because I took everything that I learned the hard way, everything that the moms I work with are like, I wish I knew that sooner. Why didn't anyone tell me that sooner? And I put it in Latching with Confidence. I put it in Latching with Confidence. You're going to get into Latching with Confidence. You're going to know how to get a good latch. You're going to know how to fix a bad latch. You're going to know how to fix sore nipples. And if nothing's working, and this is just like, still not working, this pain is persisting, you're going to know. You don't have to worry and think like, am I broken? Is something wrong? Am I just doing it wrong? No, you're going to know exactly what the problem is, and you're going to have a plan to fix it. And if you need help, I'm there. You have access to me because you get a free month in the Confident Mama Bear Society, where you get direct access to me to help you implement everything that you learn inside of Latching with Confidence. You get access to all of my workshops. So we're not just talking like how to get a good latch. Girl, we're talking how do we get a good latch and maintain our milk supply. If my latch is great and I know it's great and it feels great, but something's still missing, you're going to know what it is. You're going to be able to figure it out. And you're going to have me there to guide you and get you answers without spiraling down the Google rabbit hole, trying to figure out like where to turn. You're going to know where to turn, and you're going to have peace. And then you're going to be able to overcome. When you have peace and you have confidence, you can start overcoming challenges. The challenges don't have to control you. You don't have to be a victim of this world that's like, breastfeeding is great, but I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You're not going to be a victim of this world that's like, formula is terrible, but you have no other option. No. That's not the world we're living in anymore. It's 2025. You are going to have answers. You are going to have support because you are an action taker, and you're going to go take action. So you can go ahead and visit littlebearlactation.com/latching with confidence, and you can start owning your breastfeeding story today. You don't have to suffer. If you're pregnant and you're hearing all these stories of women suffering, you don't have to suffer. If you're pregnant and you didn't have a good breastfeeding experience the first time and you want this time to be better, you can make it better, and you can start today. And if your baby's here and you're struggling and you're like, I need help, I don't know what the next move is, maybe I need a lactation consultant, but what if it doesn't help? Girl, get inside Latching with Confidence, because Latching with Confidence is everything that I teach moms in a prenatal consult or our first postpartum consult. It is like the meat and potatoes of what new moms need to know, and nobody is telling them. So even if you still need that one-on-one support, you don't have to wait for a consult to get started, right? You don't have to wait a week and be like, what do I do for the next week while I'm struggling? No, you'll start knowing what to do now, first of all. Second of all, you'll know better questions to ask. You will be so much more equipped for making the most of any lactation consults that you have down the road, because you're going to know what to ask. You're going to know what certain things need, and you're going to have a foundation set. You're going to understand it. This is going to put you 3 steps ahead of everybody else who's sitting there like, this is hard and I don't know what to do and I'm throwing my hands up. That's not going to be you. You're going to know that you have done everything in your power to make sure you're making confident decisions and informed decisions. I really hope I see you inside. My bread is beeping, which means I've got to go take it out of the oven. I've enjoyed chatting with you, and I hope that you have been inspired to take action so that you can have a peaceful breastfeeding story, even if it's not perfect. Remember, it can be positive, even if it's not perfect. I hope to see you inside Latching with Confidence. And if you have any questions, I'm here, and I can't wait to chat with you.
All right, Mama Bear, that is a wrap for today. If this episode helped you feel a little more confident or a little more prepared for breastfeeding, can I ask you a quick favor? Go ahead and leave me a review. It helps other moms find this podcast and join us in this amazing community of fierce and confident mama bears. And hey, if you know a friend who could use some encouragement or real talk about pregnancy, breastfeeding, and all things motherhood, share this episode with her. You've got this, Mama Bear. Trust your instincts, stay fierce, and I'll catch you in the next episode.